Hey everybody, BJTHEBRAVE here. Welcome back to another deck guide, and today we're looking at Obyron Control, or as the title says here, the Scarab Police. So here we are, we're a couple of weeks into the new meta, and I've been playing a lot of Orcs this season. Most of you know I've been a big Orc player, like the last season when they were kind of mid-tier, and I'm playing them a lot this season too, and they've been really good fun because there's a lot of variety. I've probably played about 20 different Orc lists, for example. However, one thing that was happening is I'm kind of up into closing on the top 10 on ladder now, and one thing that has become obvious is that when I was playing my Orcs, I would often lose to the Scarab decks that are running around, and the reason for that is that if you've seen the meta reports we've done or listened to the podcast that we did, me and Ecclesiarch, go and listen to that if you haven't. We talked about the fact that the Scarabs are a really solid counter if you just want to beat Orcs at the minute. So there's about 3 players in the top 10 who are all running the Scarab decks, and they're just basically farming Orcs, and I was losing to them too. So yeah, I kind of lost a few matches in a row to them, and I kind of thought, right, okay, I want to beat up some Scarabs for a while, and what can I run? And I ended up opening getting a wildcard legendary, and so I went ahead and crafted Obyron, which is a card I've been wanting to try ever since I first built this Necron Control deck, which was actually the first meta deck that I built when I started the game. And so I finally got Obyron, and I wanted to give him a try. And Obyron's actually very good in this deck. So most of you know that since the patch that the Necrons kind of got hurt a little bit. They got a few nerfs, not major nerfs like the Ultramarines, but they did get a few nerfs, and it did hit the build quite a bit. But I think Obyron actually fits in much better. I was running the Necron Lord previously, and quite honestly guys, I was quite underwhelmed by Necron Lord. I think there might be perhaps a better build for the Necron Lord, but his time hasn't yet come. I don't think the control deck, I don't think he's brilliant in it. He dies a little bit too easily. Obviously if you get him in Tomb World, great. But Obyron, meanwhile, like the second this guy hits the board, you just feel safe, right? Because your Lord can't be hurt through troops attacking, basically, because this guy absorbs. Obviously you've got the massive 9 health with the 2 armor as well, so he takes a little bit of getting through. Now the only caveat is that in an Orc meta, I would say Obyron's a little bit weakened. He'll actually be better when Orcs aren't the meta, because Orcs are the ones with the hard removal, right? They've got the no mucking about, they've got the will of Gork, so they can actually clear this guy pretty easily. But I think he fits in quite well. Obviously you can Tomb World him and bring him back. So let's have a quick look at the rest of the deck. So I found that in the current meta, that the 1-drops largely remain the same, in that we run the quick pings for early damage, or late game they trigger our our artifice triggers, so things like the Hexmark Destroyer, things like the Plasmancer deal 3 damage to a random enemy. So that's such an important spell, and as is this as well, because let's say we drop a Lich Guard, or maybe a Tomb Blade early, or even one of our Technomancers gets killed and we want to bring them back. We've got a really easy way of doing it. Not to mention we can do that on Obyron late game, right? So this is just this one is just such a powerful card, and very flexible to each matchup. So in the early game, what we want to be doing is we want to be looking for our Tomb Blades, our Scorp Destroyers normally in normal matchups. However, as this is the Scarab Police, what I'm really looking for if I'm playing in that matchup is I'm really looking for my AoE. So I'm immediately looking for things like the Hexmark Destroyer. I will keep that in the opening hand, and I'm looking for Scythe Assault. I will definitely keep that in the opening hand. And what we want to do is even hold on to, like for example, you'll see in some of the gameplay in a minute that if we go in second and we keep our counter offense, the defense stratagem, they cost 0 mana. I'll hold those until I can actually combine it with, say, a Hex Destroyer, for example, so that we can clear out waves of Scarabs. Well, one AoE isn't going to be enough. You're going to need more than one, and so that's why that's critically important. It's also good to try and get on the board early, so that we can kind of try and use some of our bodies to minimise, even if we can't completely clear the Scarabs to try and minimise them for a few turns. But in normal matchups, we're really looking for the Tomb Blade, and we're looking for the Triad Praetorian, which is still one of the best 3-drops in the game. It's got great stats, it gives us Vanguard, and it's got Remnants, so sometimes they'll finally kill it. It's Remnants sitting there, and then we obviously just drop our Technomancer and raise it back up. Of course, in the 5-drops, we are running our Chronomancer. This, to be honest, is a flex card, so don't be disheartened if you're looking at this deck, come to this deck guide and you think I haven't got that. Quite honestly, guys, this card could easily be, this is the most replaceable card in the deck as far as I'm concerned. The big trick with the Chronomancer is that when you play him, your opponent will kill him, but then if he comes back out of the Tomb World, that means that all of the other units often can then essentially they get flank, because so the Tomb World guys can attack on the turn they come out, and that's what makes this guy really powerful in this deck. But actually, you know, if you play 20 games with this deck, that's very situational. That might happen once or twice. It's not going to happen every game, and therefore doesn't justify necessarily justify a permanent slot. So you could easily replace this for all manner of things. I quite like the other 5-drop that gives you a reanimate thing with a high health and the regeneration. That's a good card. But there's quite a few things you could play a second Plasmancer. There's quite a few things you could run there instead of him. I do run the Doom Size that gives us some anti-fly in the deck, so that's pretty important. And of course, we don't go anywhere with Necron Control without the Lich Guards. So the Lich Guards are fantastic. They took a slight nerf to their melee attack from 5 to 4, but they're still absolutely fantastic, and they're often key targets for your Technomancer to resurrect, or if the opponent does a good job of killing them off, then we tend to use our Reconstitution Protocol to get the Lich Guard back in hand. And of course, you know, Tomb World, we want to try and get a Lich Guard in the Tomb World if possible. I still run one Conquering Tyrant. This can actually be used as a bit of a surprise kind of finisher, you know, bumping your Lord up to 4 attack, but the 5 heal, even in an Imotekh, because we often want to go quite late game with this deck, I still find that having 1 heal is really helpful, especially in things like the Orc matchups if they go quite aggro on us and stuff. So I still think having 1, you could easily run 2, but I think I'm surviving with 1 pretty well, to be honest. We already talked about the Hex Marks. Again, in the Scarab matchup, this card is absolutely vital, because often what will happen is I'll remove a load of units with a Scythe Assault, and they'll think, oh, okay, cool, he's got his AoE out of the way, I'll rebuild the board, they rebuild, and then we hit them with like an Hex Mark combo. So for example, with the stratagem, the defense stratagem, I can drop Hex Mark on 6, for 0 mana, cheapen another spell to 2, and then that means we can play our Warlord talent, which pings 1 damage, and obviously that's 2 spells we've played, so we've basically done another AoE 2, plus we got the 1 ping. So it's super powerful on turn 6 to be able to play that kind of play. And we also are running still the Methodical Destruction, so we've got our own hard removal. Unlike the Orcs, this one is quite expensive to remove 1 troop, but you never know, that 2 to 3 damage might kill some other troops, help us clear the board, and again, often can be a surprise finisher. Sometimes when our opponent's in a bit of a tight spot, they might play a Vanguard unit, for example, right next to their Warlord. You play this, kill the Vanguard, and then the Warlord takes an extra 2 to 3 damage where they were low already, and that might be enough to help finish them off. Tomb World doesn't need much introduction. Obviously, it's our big finisher in the deck. We just need to think about when to play it. Like, for example, against the Orcs, we know they've got Will of Gore. We kind of need to play. I'm not going to give you a hard rule. I think you have to be quite intuitive to, have you set a board up beforehand and he didn't Will of Gore? You're kind of hedging your bets a little bit. You know, you never know whether he's 100% got it or not. But sometimes it's correct to Tomb World early because you're pressing the tempo and you've got his cards down to low card count, and you don't think he's got that, and you can play the Tomb World and go. And of course, against the Scarabs, this is like a game over. If you get to play this. So yeah, so that's the deck, guys. I think this deck is positioned pretty well at the minute. I am losing slightly more to Orcs. I'm at about 45% win rate against Orcs, but a very positive win rate against everything else, and I haven't lost to Scarabs with it. So it's pretty well positioned in the current meta. Swarmlord is a problem. I would say Swarmlord's actually a bit of a problem, and so is the Orcs, but the Orcs is actually more like a 50-50 matchup. It really is about what type of Orc deck you're getting and what cards did they draw early. But I think when you look at the spread of the meta right now, and especially where I'm playing, where there are quite a lot of Scarabs that are preying on the Orcs, I think this is a pretty timely deck to play with. And there's a few people running kind of like an Imotekh Control, and they're also kind of up in the top 15 as well. So yeah, so hope you like this. I'm going to play a few games now. Check it out, and again, remember, if you like this kind of content, please drop me a like. Feel free to obviously subscribe to the channel, or let me know in the comments what you would change about the deck or your experience with it. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. King Aquaman. Okay, so Aqua is, I think, second on ladder maybe? Third on ladder? Second or third, I think. He's been top of ladder multiple times this season, we know that much. Ping and heal. Battle of the Servo Skulls, look at this, eh? Two grinders. So no Scarabs thus far. Scarabs coming now. Or is it Lich Guard time? Yeah, here they come. Here they come. I think actually a mistake I've been making in this has been not attacking face. I think you're supposed to in this matchup. We'll switch to range attack for it though. Here comes wave 2 for Scarabs. So this is why we kept the Hex in our opening hand and haven't played this either. Do we want to play that now? I want to save this, right, because if he kills this, we want to be able to bring that back with that. Wow. This won't die, will it, next turn? I think what we could do here is drop Plasmance and start putting some hurt on this guy if he's not... Yeah. Okay, let's start putting some hurt on this. Kaboom! GG Aquaman. That's what we think of Scarabs. Serves you right for playing dirty Scarabs. So satisfying. Okay, so we got orcs. Yeah, I think night attack is... No, night attack's bad, isn't it? Sorry, we're not the orcs. Yeah. We'll have a normal game, please. So we're going to kick off with a basic, and then he's going to drop 1,000 grots. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. Here we go. Get ready for the 1,000 grots. So we kill one, and I think if we play this, he's obviously going to buff his guy. So I think we're actually going to do the fastest tempo thing that we can do. And take one out here. And the reason why we take one on this side and not that one is because we want to stop like extra things like Makari or Orknob. Not Orknob. Orc Banner Boy buffs. That's the best we can do. Now he probably uses his Warlord talent here. No, he's drawing some cards. Okay. Sure. Can use his Ghazghkull to remove that anyway. Okay. Now this is a little bit better now of a time, I think, to play this. We could also just drop that, but I kind of want to save that actually for one of his like some like Mech Boy or maybe even a Squig Buggy. Here comes the Horde. And so the thing is here, like we've basically... Well, actually, that's not a great green Horde, is it? Do we need to use Scythe Assault here? I'm not actually sure we do, you know. We could take an Arc out and drop Praetorian. Yeah. I think we're just going to go with that actually. Okay, he's going to go Daka and War Boss. So he can take this out with, yeah, just the Grot. And obviously his Ghazghkull. Now you see, this is where the Destroyer comes in. I'm glad we saved this now. And the other good thing is that we're playing it on turn 6, so we've got the ping now to kill off the Orc. So we do finally clear the board. So we finally overcome the kind of horrendous early game. I would say we're into the mid game now, right? Now, let's have a look. So it's turn 6 and we're on 28 health. So it's not... We've taken a little bit. We've taken a bit, but you know, he's had a really good start. So it's not too bad. Yeah, this thing's a bit of an issue. I mean, so we're offering up a good trade for him here. Obviously, I mean, next turn we can ping it to finish him off, unless he plays hard as nails. But I've got a feeling he might be thinking about like a squig buggy here and saving the orc to hit face. Oh, he's got mucking about, yeah. Okay. So we take the board back, and now we're into combo territories. Next turn we can Sky the Salt and Curse, but obviously I'd rather save that, depending on what he does. I mean, this doesn't look like it's going to be a big go wide turn. We could do with like a... We could really do with like what could we do with? Maybe like a Lich Guard or something here. Do you know what? Actually, I think we'll just go ahead and drop one of these because we've got 2. Kind of tempted to not kill that, although he can just kill it off himself, can't he? So that doesn't actually make sense. So the overtime kicks in. I think what we'd love him to do is play Rock Invasion here, but I think he's going to wait to see combo piece. That might be a Will of Gork turn for him, to be honest. Ah! He got the one he needed. He's got 9 cards left. Maybe we play this, he gets confident enough to... Maybe he gets confident enough to put something big now. We try and hit with that. I feel like he's been holding off to see some AoE. He might have lethal here, actually. Yeah, I think he might have lethal here with the... Yeah, I think he's got lethal. Shit. Yeah, okay, so we should have healed. We had the heal as well. Okay, we got a little bit greedy there. More oxys. I wonder whether the 25% thing's actually more correct. I think I played the last 2 turns of that last game wrong. I'd like to go back and watch that one. That was wrong too. I should have hit. Should have pinged on the wall boss. Not sure why I did that. Other than something caught my eye out of the window, and I got distracted for a second. Daka daka daka. Don't have any of our early game stuff. It's a bit painful. I mean, we can finish this off with extermination protocol. It's not ideal, but it'll have to do. Just ping this and heal. Okay, so it's one wall biker. No mucking about. Okay, so that's good. Do our little return from the dead trick. Now, we're not going to be too greedy in this game in terms of when we use our heal. Kind of cost us in the last game. I think we should have won that. We really should have won that game against Ghazghkull. Nice try. Do you want to play something for 5? I guess it is still this anyway, right? We're not going to attack. No, the problem is this is a incredible Will of Gork for him here. So the alternative there was to just not develop the board. Like, we could have just attacked with our range attack here and pinged that. We'd taken 1 damage and then pinged it with Heat Warlord talent and just not attacked. We could have done that. That would have been the... actually, an attack face would have been the way to play around Will of Gork, I guess. But okay, he hasn't got it. So a second Scorcher Assault. That's a mistake, man. He should not have done that. He shouldn't have attacked there because now he allows me to basically do this. So we're gonna go and get our guy back out of the graveyard. There he is. And yeah, I know we can obviously clear. We could have cleared this board, but I think preserving my Lich Guard is a higher priority for me here. Yeah, he messed up there. Like, you don't attack the Lich Guard so that when the Lich Guard attacks back, he dies, because then he can, like I just did, I can raise it back. If he hadn't attacked, like when I attacked with the Lich Guard, I would have still been alive on 1 health. So he messed up there. Second Gretchen mob, and now we can clear this really easily. Oh, even easier now, right? I guess we... what's the best way to clear that? I guess we just ping it and go face, right? Oh no, what? Oh no, what are you doing? Oh no! You just died for nothing! Fucking idiot. Oh, Lord, that was so brain dead. That was so brain dead. That was unforgivable. Yeah, that was seriously bad. Kind of don't want to drop Obyron, right? I want to drop that after a potential Will of Gork, but we'll see. Okay. 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 So here we're just gonna do... just gonna do this. Get our Lich Guard back. Not that we're gonna need it in this game. I think we can go ahead and hit face at this stage in the game. Okay, there's the Will of Gork. Have we got lethal? So +2, so yeah, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, we got lethal on that. Kaboom! There we go, boys. Okay, so much better performance against the Orcs, although we still made some. You can see how easy it is to make silly mistakes. Made 2 or 3 like just completely distracted errors in that game. Ooh, we have a mirror match. Okay, that wasn't get my cards for a minute then. So we kind of need to outvalue him to win this match, don't we? It's like playing real late game with the resources, getting Obyron in the Tomb World and things like that. But I mean, that's not easy to do anymore. Kind of don't want to just throw that away on tempo either. We might need that in a more timely moment. Okay, but he's doing it to us. It's such a different card now. It's such a different card. Like, yeah, I kind of liked the old effect in terms of like the thematic design of it, but it was a bit abusive. What are you doing? You haven't got enough mana for this. Oh god, I'll mess that up. Do we take 5 to face here? I think so. So an easy clear for him. portals. I feel like that's a pretty good time for this. Defend that from being range attacked. How do we kill that? You know what's interesting is if we played this, we could then dump that. But I think... I'm not sure if it's correct to make that kind of tempo play here. I don't think it is. I think we're going to slow down a little bit. Love the artwork on that one. Super cool. Okay. Playing out some AoE. So we're using a lot of resources, but I want to put a bit of pressure on here because it's turn 9 and he's just used... so we can't use what he just used with the Scythe with the curse. He can use Hex and Thingy and Curse this turn though, which would kill the 4 health units. Nope, okay. So I think Tomb World next turn. So nice. Okay. Has he got the Hex Curse combo? That's what we lose to. And we also lose to his Tomb World, right? Although we do at least have the AoE to counter it. Mirror matches are crazy, but Control Necron mirrors are something else. They really are. He really doesn't want them coming back, does he? Well, that is one way to go. Of course, he's still got the same combo back yet. So I'm not going to get too excited. Okay, so what we want to do here is start with this. Wait. No idea what order this happens. That's a shame. Such unbelievable swingy turns, right? I always forget that they're random. Okay, so first of all, let's do this and get our guard back. I mean, we lose horribly to AoE. I haven't seen a Hex yet. Yeah. Here we go. Wow. Nice hit. Yeah, we had him because we had the methodical and the one ping. We had the AoE. That was a great game. I mean, it's a bit crazy, isn't it, watching a mirror match? But you know, I think we put the foot down and accelerated and like pressed the tempo when the opportunity provided itself. You can play that game where you just basically play uber control. You don't play anything, and you kind of you play to outvalue your opponent. But sometimes when you're outvaluing your opponent, you end up creating a tempo advantage, and that's when we stepped on the pedal a little bit. Because the downside with that first strategy is that you know, they can sometimes be sitting there with a crap hand, and you're just not taking advantage of it. So by pressing the tempo, like recognizing when to press, is what we think we did well there, and that's what got us the win. Good game though.